Hi there, this is Tank Girl, and I wanted to give you guys a quick recap of my time with the Kindle DX from Amazon. I still have mixed feelings about the Kindle after using the Kindle DX. I think it's a huge improvement over the original that I briefly used when it came out. Mostly, I think that Amazon has addressed the biggest issues, which are the size of the device and the aesthetics of the device. The Kindle DX also supports an accelerometer, which allows you to rotate it in any direction like I just did. And it also adds PDF support, which I thought was really, really helpful. The reason I did not like the original Kindle much was the size and the design. Now, this industrial design that they introduced with the Kindle 2 and the Kindle DX is much more to my liking. I think it is a much more cohesive and appealing to me anyway. There you go, the orientation just popped again. The other thing is the size. This is much larger than the Kindle 2 and the original Kindle. And some people are going to say, well, you know, that's heavier and bigger, but for the intended purpose, which is ebooks, and I think for this device, newspapers and textbooks, I think this is the right size. The original Kindle and the Kindle 2 are still too big to really be pocketable and to be really mobile devices. If you're going to be reading on the go, you're going to be using a device like your mobile phone, like an iPhone or another smartphone. And I think Amazon understands that since they've addressed this with the Kindle Reader for the iPhone. But I think this is the right size, and I really do like the new industrial design. Now, for the parts that I'm still not sold on, and I think this is the crux of it for me. The e-ink is nice, but it doesn't really do it for me. I mean, I read just as well on a backlit LCD, TFT, or OLED display. Now, I realize those displays take more power, but they are backlit, which means you can read at night. This requires a light if you want to read at night. So I'm still not 100% sold on the e-ink. I think that others might disagree, but I just, maybe I've been looking at computer screens for too long, but I don't see really the point there. And the first thing I want to do is touch the screen. I think a touch screen interface would be fantastic on a device like this. The other thing is this allows you to browse the web, which is okay, but it's pretty slow. And I'm not talking about the network connection. I'm talking about the refresh of the screen is very slow. And as you can see from the orientation change here. And I think that's the crux, another crux of the problem is that I would like to use this to browse the web. And it's kind of lacking at doing that. And I know it's not designed for that, but that's one of the first things I did with it. Also, the MP3 support on this for listening to music is extremely limited. Now, I realize again, it's not an MP3 player, but for the kind of money that Amazon asks for this device, I would have really thought that they would have added these additional features in a more polished way, especially now after 2 years or so. The last thing I want to talk about is DRM. As you know, I'm not very big on DRM and generally not very big on copy protection. I think it gets in the way more than it helps. And I think that we've proven with MP3, like the Amazon MP3 store is a good example, that we can live without DRMing content and still make money. So I just would like to see less or no DRM on ebooks, and I think that the events of this week or was it last week of 1984, an Animal Farm being yanked from the Kindle store and deleted from everybody's Kindles, just really brings that up again, the whole issue of DRM. So. Yeah, I use this primarily for PDFs. I bought a few books. In fact, mostly my spouse was the one using it because they are the avid reader in our family. So Anyway, it came with this really nice little leather case, and I really like that case. So I think if you're going to get a Kindle, get it with the leather case. It is magnetically latched and kind of bolts in there in the spine, which is really well done. Battery life is pretty good if you turn the wireless off. If you turn the wireless on, it's a little less good, but still very acceptable. Of course, the e-ink display is definitely helpful there for power consumption. This device has 4 gigs of internal storage and mass storage support over USB, so you can just plug it into your computer and transfer MP3s and PDFs. So that's pretty good. Apparently, the Kindle 2 has less storage, and the original Kindle has an SD card slot. There's a headphone jack at the top here, and the power switch, and then at the bottom there's a USB port here. Everything is done in the user interface, as you can see it rotated again. Everything is done in the user interface using this 4-way joystick type device, and these keys. There's a menu key in the back, and a next page, previous page, and home button, and then down here you have a QWERTY keyboard as well. So again, I think that people read a lot and don't have issues with DRM. There's no reason why you shouldn't get a Kindle. I think it's a great one, and especially this larger one. But for those of you like me who are concerned with DRM, and for those of you who do not really see the benefits of the e-ink, it is gorgeous, don't get me wrong. I mean, the display looks very crisp, it's very readable. But I think I'd be better served by a device like the upcoming Crunch Pad, despite my concerns with that as well. I still think I would go for it before I would go for the Kindle. Anyway, this is Tank Girl. I hope you enjoyed this recap of the Kindle DX, and I'll catch you on my blog. Look for a review, tankgirl.wordpress.com. That's tnkgrl.wordpress.com. Cheers.